hear to my accent that I'm not from here. I speak French usually, so I come from Belgium, and the fairy tale for me it started, I think, 1.5 years ago when I left Belgium. I met David and Helena 2 months before, like in June 2 years ago, and when I met Helena, I just saw something in her, but not with my eyes, with my heart. And I was like, that's it. That's what I've been looking for all my life. And I didn't know what it was because I was just very new in the course, but I just felt my life is changing. Like this is it. This is the end of it, or the beginning of the end, or whatever. And 2 months later, I left Belgium. I left everything, and I just heard join with them, and I just did. I went to a devotional, then I went to Cincinnati and volunteering at the foundation and going deeper into the course and practicing, listening to guidance and the practical application of the course. And and then I had that vision that I heard about Eric, and I had that vision that Eric and I would be going on a world tour, sharing the music and the dance that I had been receiving from the Spirit. And when I shared that with David, he was like, "This is great, Armel." Eric was waiting for the next step. He has left everything, and he has been feeling guided to travel with his music, and now you come with a plan. It's like, okay, let's go. And so I shared with Eric, and the day where he told me, okay, I'm 100% with you, I had that vision when I was talking with a friend that we were supposed to be married. Like the Spirit was giving me the guidance of being married with Eric 15 days later, and we didn't even met yet. So it felt like totally surreal, and I went, oh no, that must not be right. I was like totally out of my mind here. Yeah. And so I waited for 3 days and asked for signs all the time to, okay, if it's really what I'm supposed to do, I just want signs. I just want to be sure. And so I finally still shared with David and went, David, I'm getting this crazy guidance and I don't know what to do. And David was, Armel, this is just wonderful. Oh yeah? And I couldn't even finish my sentence. Then Eric was on the phone and I went, okay. So the first time I talked with him, it was to tell him I got a guidance that we are supposed to be married in 15 days.
His face, the reaction was priceless. I'll never forget the look on his face. Those are the little treats that you get from the Holy Spirit. Like you'll never forget those moments.
How did you hear that? Was it a dream or a voice or?
I had kind of vision. I don't know. I'm a very visual person, and I was having images and feeling of joy and just my heart opening so widely and just feeling just my whole body like moving towards it, and like if it was just meant to be. It wasn't even questionable in me. It was like, yeah, okay, I'm telling it, but it's like, anyway, it could happen. It wasn't, there was no fear in me. There was like just kind of was given, and I knew that it was.
You saw a tattoo ring too?
Yeah, I had a vision of a tattoo ring, and Eric's name coming on my hand, and I was just, oh my God, wow, this is just crazy. But yeah, when I shared with Eric also, it was. First he was really surprised, but then there was like something in him like... but not that much, really. Not in my experience, anyway. It felt that he was just having a lot of trust. He was just feeling it too. And so it was like, okay. Then it was a release for me. I was, okay, I'm not crazy. Great. Let's pray with the Holy Spirit then. Yeah. And so we've been traveling since then, all over. In several countries, and sharing our experience of practicing the course together, allowing the blocks to be removed, going through everything that needed to be seen and become aware of and be released, and having huge, deep waves, and very hard time, and also very wonderful time. And yeah, certainly the 6 first months were really, really deep in healing and forgiveness opportunities, certainly. And now the time is becoming very quiet and more just enjoying everything and seeing more light and truth and angels everywhere than people attacking or blame, or people that I want to blame. It's like the innocence is what is coming more and more in. Yeah, it's so worth it and so beautiful, and I think I've always kind of been trusting life, but the trust that I have now in the spirit and in life, and that we are so perfectly guided in every moment and so taken care of, and that we can really just dive and just really give over all our life to the spirit, and know that we will be so guided and so we're so cared for. It's just amazing. In every moment, there is not one moment where we are alone. It's there every time, in every moment, and it has always been. And yeah, and just going through the darkness in order to know that it has no price. It's like I could do that again. Yeah, it would be nice to try more.
Too. They both discovered later on that they have the exact same birth date and birth year, the very same day they were born.
Really?
They were like, whoa, that's kind of as far as synchronicities, there's a kind of an interesting synchronicity going on there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there are always so many signs on the path to show that this is right where you're supposed to be. There's no other place where we are supposed to be, that here now is all the perfect forgiveness opportunities that are presented, just to remember who we are in every moment. Just, what do I want to see? Yeah, I just want to remember. I just want to see all those beautiful angels coming here and telling me, stand up, remember. I'm just like, yeah, it's so great. So thank you for being here.
Well, my name's Eric. And yeah, it's been a journey that I never saw my life going this way at all. You know, I was really into I was a hypnotherapist a couple of years ago, and I've been doing that for like 7 years, and I was traveling around the country doing stop smoking and weight loss seminars, and I was making a lot of money, and I had a lot of freedom and a lot of flexibility, and I thought I was just on top of the world. And I was studying the Course, and I was really getting deeper into it, like realizing I just have to practice forgiveness all the time. Anytime I get upset, it's just a forgiveness opportunity. And I was getting more and more into that, and the deeper I went into that, the more it felt like, okay, that's all working, this forgiveness, but my life still doesn't feel totally fulfilling. Like this job I'm doing, the career didn't feel fulfilling anymore. And it was in April of 2009 that I went to a 3-week devotional with the Messengers of Peace, and it became painfully obvious that I just needed to leave my career and just leap off the cliff and not know where I was going to land. And so I did. I just called called the employer and said I'm leaving, and I kind of weaned I was pretty woven deeply into the company, so it took a couple months to kind of get out, and I had people working under me and so forth. But I remember at the end of that devotional, toward the end, I was just kind of wondering what I was going to do, and David and I were sitting in the kitchen of the Peace House, and I was just kind of like, what? I feel kind of like excited about leaving my career, and I have some savings, but I still have, I have some debt, and I'm like, what am I going to do next? I don't know what to do. And David just said, I'm hearing traveling minstrel. And I've been playing guitar for years and singing, but I'd never thought of it as something just to focus my whole life on. It was just kind of a side hobby. And when he said that, there was like a lot of mixed emotions. I remember I felt a sense of like beauty, like it was so simple and so beautiful, just to be a traveling minstrel, just travel. The first question I had was, what's a minstrel? But once I figured out what a minstrel was, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I liked the description. It had like the word servant, and had the minister was the root of it, so I like that. So I finally I felt it. I felt like, okay, I need to let go of all these other goals I had. I still had this idea of I wanted to be a famous Course in Miracles hypnotherapist. And that was like my idol. And so I remember that same day I said that to you too. I said, yeah, well, God, that sounds really cool, but it doesn't feel that important. I want to be a famous Course in Miracles hypnotherapist. And David just said, well, teaching is really about demonstrating. It's not really about what we say. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And so I let that go, and I just started to focus on the music, and immediately songs started pouring through me. I had like a stream of songs that were just really beautiful, just coming into my mind, and I'd write them down. And I started traveling where I was invited, and I just kind of traveling around and living off the savings I had. And miraculously, I was able to pay off all the debt, and I sold my house in Austin, Texas. Just the way that it all worked out with my job ending, like the money just showed up, and everything got paid off, and just a bunch of miracles happened, one after another. And then my life was just free. I just was kind of traveling around and being a traveling minstrel and just playing music. And then it was only 6 months later when I got this call from Armel. First she emailed me saying, I feel the guidance we're supposed to go on a world tour together. And I was like, wow, that's really great. And I've been wondering what to do, and this feels like a next step. So yeah, let's talk about that. And then 3 days later she calls me, and I'm at a retreat with David, and he's on the phone with her, and he passes the phone to me, and I'm standing there, and she says, in a very shaky voice, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think I'm hearing guidance that we're supposed to be married in 15 days. And I remember feeling kind of like it was like a moment, it was just like a moment, like where time stopped. It was like, huh. That's never happened. And I actually felt really peaceful though, strangely. I just was like, I think what the thoughts that went through my mind was, well, if it's really the guidance, and then I want to follow it, and that's great. And if it's not, then no biggie. It's like, let it go. And so the first thing I said was, well, that's really big. She said, yeah. And then I said, well, shoot, I have a girlfriend. And I had a girlfriend for the past year a girlfriend in San Francisco that it was fun, but she wasn't on the same path, and I'd actually had a prompt to break up with her a few months earlier and hadn't done so. So I said, oh, okay, I guess I'll have to deal with that. And then I just said, well, great, let's just stay on the phone the next few days. I'm going to be back in California for a week, and then I'm flying out to Cincinnati anyway, and so I'll see you there, and we'll just kind of see what happens. We don't have to have a decision right now. And so the next week we talked on the phone for like 3 hours a day, and just really connected in a way I've never connected with anyone, I don't think. And then I saw her a week later, and it was kind of awkward. It was like an arranged marriage, So we met at the airport, and my heart was pounding, and when we both saw each other, like both of us kind of like she looked very different to me than how I thought she would look from the pictures, and I looked different to her than so both of us were kind of like and I didn't know what to do. We were like standing there, and so I was like, I think I gave her like a hug, and then I gave her like a little kiss on the lips, but it was so awkward. It was like one of those teenage moments, like dating, and I was like, okay, well, let's get in the car and go.
Instead of two Indian families, it's like the invisible arranged marriage.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's just been a very powerful acceleration of the spiritual journey, of the awakening. It feels like it's this with this commitment, where it's like we've made a commitment to each other, and we have tattooed rings, and we're like, let's do this. Let's go really deep into our mind together and practice forgiveness and really heal our mind together. And we've just had to look at everything, like all the areas that are difficult usually, where there's difficult conversations around sex, around money, around monogamy, around, what else? Those are the biggies, right? Traveling, where we're going to live, just what we're doing day to day, all the managerial stuff, and just managing our lives. Just everything has been fleshed up to really be looked at, and it's been very difficult. It's been really difficult. It's been a total challenge, but it's been a really exciting challenge. It's been like the most thrilling video game, like the forgiveness video game that I can imagine. And so I just feel so grateful, and it feels like we've sort of just come through like the eye of the needle, in a sense. That was what Sandy was saying. Like, we've gone through a lot of stuff. It's been pretty intense, and now it's sort of hit, I don't know, some kind of a nice, smooth section of the road where it feels like we're just more connected than we've ever been, and so yeah, I'm really excited about this gathering today, and we've just learned so much about how to relate to each other and how to communicate and how to be really authentic and transparent, and I'm just really excited to share all that with you. So just feel free to ask any questions that come to you, and we'll just be sharing it from our hearts.
I have a question for both of you, and it actually would like a separate answer, a distinct answer from each. Do you see a relationship as a special relationship?
Yeah. I mean, I still have, I don't feel like I've totally transcended the ego, and so I do still see it as a special relationship, and for me it's just about practicing to notice when the specialness creates a conflict, when there's jealousy or fear or whatever, and then that's the opportunity to give it over to the Holy Spirit so He can transform my perceptions into holiness. And so, yeah, for me it's definitely got a lot of specialness still in my mind, and I'm just working with that and allowing it to be transformed.
Yeah, I think that every relationship we have starts by a special one, and when given to the Holy Spirit, then the purpose can change. And I think that I've been trying so hard to be Eric's wife at the beginning of our marriage, and it has been so painful for me because I was trying to play the role and to be perfect in it. And lately, really, those last months, since I came to the States, actually, I feel that there's been a lot for me, a lot of specialness being undone, and there is still. But I feel that now it depends where I am looking from. When I am totally in the Spirit, I feel there is no specialness. But when I want to do things by myself, and that I relate to Arnel as being this body and this personality, then there is definitely specialness, yes.
Thank you.